Good morning, Family Naz. I miss everybody. I hope everyone is safe and well. And I wanted to jump on here real quick and continue the walk through the book of Acts. I was given chapter 20, verse 32 through 38, as well as chapter 21, verses 17 through 19. So I'm going to go ahead and read through the verses, break it apart, because the English teacher that I am. So break it apart, kind of talk about the meaning that it has to me and kind of what I've learned from it, and then go from there. So we'll see where it leads us. All right, Acts chapter 20, verses 32 through 38. And now I commit to you, God, and to the message of his grace, which is able to build you up and to give you an inheritance among all who are sanctified. I have not taken anyone's silver or gold or clothing. You yourselves know that these hands have provided for my needs and for those who were with me. In every way, I've shown you that by laboring like this, it is necessary to help the weak and to keep in mind the words of the Lord Jesus. For he said, it is more blessed to give than to receive. After he said this, he knelt down and he prayed with all of them. There was a great deal of weeping by everyone. They embraced Paul and they kissed him, grieving most of all over his statement that they would never see his face again. Then they escorted him to the ship. So in these verses, I'm just going to pull out like the main part. Obviously, I think it stuck out, but in verse 35, it is more blessed to give than to receive. I think that is an important piece to keep with us today, to remember that in times of need, there might be people out there that need our help, but won't necessarily reach out and ask for it. I'm one of them. But when that help does come, it is an amazing feeling, right? And there shouldn't be any expectations to have to pay it back, right? To give anything in return. So my philosophy is kind of like help those that need it now. And you might not be able to give anything in return now, but maybe their time will be a few months down the road or a few years down the road. And that is when you are able to give to them, not expecting anything in return. Kind of return the favor, right? That's what we're all here for. Work together, be together. So this basically is an awesome representation as to how Jesus's attitude was just beyond awesome, right? So it is very accurate to show his attitude and his generosity throughout the Bible. He shows it so often, right? And this is just one of those ways where he says it is more blessed to give than to receive. And then down on verse 37 through 38, where the elders are there, they're crying, they embrace Paul, then they go with him to his ship. It's not really the sign of Paul's death, okay, and the farewell, but the pain that he is feeling about losing a trusted friend and leader at that point. So then we go into chapter 21, verses 17 through 19, and it states, when we reached Jerusalem, the brothers welcomed us gladly. The following day, Paul went in with us to James, and all the elders were present. After greeting them, he related in detail what God did among everyone through his ministry. Okay? So they're telling him in detail what God has done. And so when they arrive there and they're doing this, and they're talking about, God did this and God has done this. He's worked amazing things here and all through his ministry, right? So basically it is known that it was not Paul's leadership that brought those successes, okay? But it was the glory that was directed to God everything that God did was directed to him. He gave, but he didn't expect anything in return at that point. That just gave me goosebumps a little bit, but it's true. Like, he gives, but he's not expecting anything, right? He shows us his love. He tells us, you know, if we trust in him, good things will come, right? And we just have to believe in that and trust in that and do what we know is right. And he's not expecting anything in return. He's just hoping that we trust in him throughout this journey. So I might repeat myself a little bit, but I kind of wrote down a little bit of kind of what I feel in my experience with giving to others but not expecting anything in return. Something that I try my best to teach my children. It is hard because they're at the age where they want, right? And they don't see how important it is to give as much as I would like them to, but that is like one of my goals. And after reading this and studying this portion, it definitely has made me see the truth and how important it is. So I will continue that. But I just think here's my summary, like throughout life, I think we get caught up in all the craziness, and we may forget how important it is to serve others without expecting anything in return. I mean, there's times where I'm like, oh, I did that for somebody, but why aren't they doing anything back for me? Like, I think we've all been there and we're all guilty of that. But this is just a good reminder that God wouldn't do that to us. Okay, God would give us what we need, but not expecting anything. When we take the time to help those around us and not expect anything in return, the satisfaction that goes along with that is so much more than we could ever, ever, ever imagine. To see the look on their face, their gratitude, as it's stated above, their generosity of us doing that for them should be more than anything can compare to it, right? It should be more than anything that they could absolutely ever give us back. So I love that we can all do for others, and the more we do that, we will see the blessings that come along with it. We might have to be patient. We might have to be cautious of our hearts and not let it hurt inside, like if something doesn't go the way expected, but the blessing is going to be there. The satisfaction will be there. So that's the book of Acts, chapter 20, verse 32 through 38, and chapter 21, verse 17 through 19. So I hope everyone has an awesome day today. And I look forward to hearing the message tomorrow. Bye.